How's it going, everyone? Mufara here. Welcome to Heliopolis Radio. I hope you enjoy the content. Peace and blessings to the people. How's it going, everyone? Mufara here. Welcome to Heliopolis Radio. Hoping you've all had a blessed week or blessed start to the week, for that matter. And yeah, we're back at it with another episode of Retrospect. And so, today's movie of discussion is called Underwater. It's directed by William Eubank, starring Kristen Bell. It had a budget of about 50 million, and in the box office, it got about 40 million. And so, a lot of the movies that I have spoken of on Retrospect are actually very high-tier movies. They've done well. They've been really well critically acclaimed. But this is one movie that was actually really bad. But the reason why I'm talking about it is because as bad as it was, there were actually some very good elements to it, particularly towards the end of the film, and kind of how it, I guess you can say, redeemed itself in the end. And so another reason why I'm speaking about it is, obviously, as you can hear in the background, the musical score is pretty fucking awesome. It's done by Marco Beltrami. And so, essentially, it's about the main protagonist, played by Kristen Bell, is a girl called Nora. She's an engineer working, so there's this there's an underwater mine that they have in the Mariana Trench, where they're digging for oil, drilling for oil. And so, long story cut short, an earthquake happens within the Mariana Trench belt, and it causes destruction to the facility where Nora's working on. And what happens is her and quite a few people already die in the initial earthquake, but her and 5 other workers within this base or this underground facility run by TN Industries, they managed to survive the earthquake, but unfortunately the parts that they use to get back to the surfaces are damaged and destroyed within the earthquake, so they have to find another base, which is like a couple of kilometers away from theirs, and they have to see if they can get access to that base to get the vehicles to get back to shore and obviously survive. And so that's essentially where the plot takes off. And what I really liked about it was kind of how it was as bad as a movie as it was in terms of its plot and its maybe over dramatic, aspects. There were actually really good aspects of character development that happened, particularly with Nora's character. I won't reveal too much, but she's a pretty complex character. She has a very tough background. In actual fact, all of them have tough backgrounds, and so they all have their own personal demons that they're battling with, if you can call it that. And essentially how they come to terms and face those inner demons, essentially while stuck underwater with limited oxygen supply, and they're fighting for survival. You know how the typical story goes. But I think that was the one good part of the film that they did really well. And in terms of how they ended up having to, again, not everyone survived, but how they, face themselves underwater. And so there was like a deeper symbolism to what it really was. It wasn't just them, being stuck in a facility that they're working on underwater at the very bottom of the ocean. It was really about being at the bottom of the ocean in their minds. Each of the characters had their own individual insecurities, and I guess you can call personal hindrances that they had to face in order to, do what they needed to do to survive. And so the ending was really powerful. It really showed one really great aspect, which was the power of sacrifice, and a human being's willingness to sacrifice in order to get things done, in order to survive, and not only in order to survive, but in order to be of service to others. And so that was one really good part about the film that I really enjoyed. There's also a lot of mythology, which is really cool. And so it's not just literally a film about guys being trapped underwater in an earthquake. There's a much deeper element to the plot. And so I recommend you, if you have an hour or two to spare. Again, I say this is not the best movie out there, but the musical score was great. But the character development in the end was really solid. It showed a lot of good aspects about our human nature and our ability to really give, at the end of the day. And that's really what we are, no matter where we're coming from. what we're facing. At the end of the day, when push comes to shove and it's go time, people show up and people pull through. And again, maybe I'm a sucker for these little, I guess sensational things. I'm not like saying I'm all pro humanity and anything, but I do enjoy a good twist in character in the end, and it was really good in the end. And also the mythology behind it, and the fact that how they portray corporate greed and interest. It's always interesting to watch that, particularly once you realize how the film ended. Once you see how the film ends, and you realize what happened to the characters after. And so Kristen Bell. She's not my favorite actress, but I think she tried, and she did a really decent job at portraying, this complex character called Nora. And so, funny thing, the background music is actually called Nora's Choice. So, it's a really, I think her character and this background music, or at least the musical score, they go hand in hand. It really symbolizes what she's about. And so, again, thank you guys for tuning in. I'm trying to keep these retrospects really short, so apologies if I just run through the plot and everything and maybe don't give enough depth to the character. If that's an issue, please let me know. But other than that, there'll be another episode of my Your Body Speaks Your Mind podcast series out this week. And for those of you interested in personal health and well-being, as sensationalized as it is, I just shared some insights from this book that I read, and it was really good. And so hopefully you can take something and apply it into your own life. And so, I'm wishing you guys a blessed rest of the week. Thank you for tuning into the podcast, and peace and blessings to the people. Thank you.